3, 4. Top notch. We're all about a rock, top hat. We're all about a rock, tip top. We're all about a rock.
Yeah, it's pretty clear. We're going to miss you, but you can shake us like you used to do. Rock out that 9-9 Manhattan one chase. All the right numbers in all the right places. Rock out the customers to make our business grow. Eat up the shortening to be the best in show. You got the top hat, let's raise them up. And 3 inch of rock is perfect from the bottom to the top. We're all about a rock, top hat. We're all about a rock, tip top. We're all about a rock, party!
Let me talk a little bit about Rob, which you'll hate, but I'll promise to be brief. So I was reflecting back to when I first met Rob, which was in the middle of 1995. And in a little bit of context, in '94, I'd been working around the Milwaukee companies, both the health company and the long-term care company, as well as we had a thing called the Banner Task Force going at that point in time. Some of you may remember that, fondly or not fondly. And through all of that, I kept hearing about this guy in Kansas City that I had to meet. Smart, nice, incredible, and I never had a chance. For whatever reason, about 18 months went by before I finally found myself in Kansas City. And when I did, I was awestruck. In my prior life, I met a lot of people, and generally I was smarter than most of them. Most. I had no chance with Rob. Immediately asking me questions I had no idea what the answer to, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going to be really hard and challenging. And it was wonderful, because over the 15 years that I was still at Bain and working with the company, Rob would call me up often early in the morning with an idea. And they were always brilliant. Sometimes I didn't understand them at first. I had to kind of get it out of him and figure it out. But it was wonderful. And over the years, that never really changed with Rob. So I spent a lot of time thinking about, Rob, what can I learn from you and try to model? And I'll just pick 3 things. I could probably pick 20. The first is that you're really a role model. I mean, you lead by example the way you do everything. We all know the right thing to do is do what Rob would do in this situation in terms of treating people, treating our clients. You're always going to do the right thing. Not even a question. And I think that's something we all have to lead by example. The second is how insightful you are. You are the smartest guy in the room every time. He is. He's shaking his head no, but he is. And he never comes out and makes you feel dumb. He makes you actually feel smart because he helps you discover the answer yourself. And that ability to help you realize the answer so you really get it, I aspire to that. And then what I particularly admire about Rob is he's so accessible. It doesn't matter who you are, assurant, not assurant, you can be my level, you can be the receptionist. Rob engages with everyone all the time. It makes them feel comfortable and at ease, and I aspire to do that as well. So I hope to take some of those lessons from Rob as we go forward. Another thing about Rob that many of you know is his commitment to giving back. And so he's always given back heavily to the communities he's involved with. So, for example, the University of Wisconsin or the United Way. How many of you have been to Rob's house for United Way dinner? Many of us, right? And those are another example of how he's given back. Or, well, that's 18, Rob's correct. And then also the Choice Theater, financial literacy, education. Rob's given back in so many ways. And what we thought we would do as a small gesture, the Assurant Foundation is going to donate $10,000 to a charity of Rob's choice, really to honor and recognize Rob's contributions over the years. So, Rob, I'll give you that check in a minute for you to do with as you see appropriate. And then, yes. So just a couple of things as you write into the next chapter of your career. First and very importantly, you should be very proud. The legacy that you've built here, this company, the people, the culture, this is going to live on and we're going to do well, and you're a huge, huge part of that. So you should be proud when you think back on what you accomplished here. That's one very important thing. Another thing is I want to make sure you stay in touch with all of us. it's very easy when you get on to the next chapter. You'll be busy, you'll be in Tahoe, you'll be in Vietnam, you'll be wherever else. You got to remember, you have many, many friends at the company, both in this room and elsewhere, who really want you to stay in touch. So, please, please, please do that. And then finally, please don't join your earnings calls. Don't call, don't ask difficult questions. Just kind of give us your advice quietly. No need to be front and center there. Anyway, I'm honored to follow in your footsteps. I'll do all I can with the great team we have to take this company and make it even stronger as we go to the future. But please congratulate, welcome, wish Rob the best in the future. Thank you, Rob.
Al and I were so excited and so honored to ask us into your retirement party.
And a little nervous. I mean, just look around. We're singing in the Rainbow Room for 178 people. And we're singing for the retirement of a beloved Fortune 500 CEO. That's a lot of pressure, Rob.
So for weeks, we've looked at hundreds of songs, trying to find just the perfect one. We started by thinking about you and what you would really enjoy. For example, we thought, Rob loves musicals.
Well, that's great, because we know musicals.
And Rob loves funny.
That's really perfect, because we are really funny.
And modest. And Rob is so smart.
And we really know musicals.
How about something that's more of a New York classic? This is the Rainbow Room after all. How about some Gershwin?
All right, I think I've got something here.
It ain't actuarially so. It ain't actuarially so. Our profits expected, your bonus projected. It ain't actuarially so.
I think that's a little technical, and let's face it, nobody wants to hear a song about actuaries. Besides, I think in this room, in this city for Rob, we need to do something contemporary, something now, something that people love. How about Annie?
Contemporary?
Well, the movie opens today, that's pretty fresh. You won't go to work tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow you will have fun. Bet you won't have a job tomorrow, and the paycheck stop for you tomorrow. You'll be poor when you're stuck with a day. It's great.
There's a phone call. A phone call. You got to take it.
We're in the middle of something.
I get that, but there's a phone call and you need to take it.
Hello? Oh, hi, AT.
What? It's AT.
Oh, not much. We're just singing a song. Oh, you don't like that song? Oh, yeah, we could cut it. No, that's not a problem. Sure. Well, yeah, I've got some time. A few minutes. What's your question? No, I think the paychecks are really going to stop. No, you won't be home all the time. Listen, sorry, AT, I gotta cut this short. Alan's playing a song. I'll talk to you later. Why did I ever leave Wisconsin?
That's not right either, Mike.
No, but I think singing about Rob's Midwestern roots is really a good idea. We just picked the wrong song.
Hey, I think you're right. And I think I know the wrong song. See if you like this one, or the right song. See if you like this one. He came to Kansas City from a Friday. By Saturday, he learned a thing or two. For up to then, he didn't have an idea of what the SEC would put him
I was asked to sing this. And I hope that's okay with everyone. Most people think that, no, not really. Most people think that Rob actually was born at Assurant, actually at Time Insurance, because in Wisconsin, and as part of the early kindergarten program. That's not actually true. Rob actually worked at another company before he came into the Assurant, now Assurant family. He was a Cuno, I'm not sure how to say that. But then he saw the way and came into the St. Paul companies it was at the time. And I wish I could take credit for hiring Rob, but I can't. He was already there when we bought the company in 1984. But we certainly did recognize him right off. Of course, we were tipped off because the head of the company at the time, the day after we bought the company, says, "Hey, let me tell you, this guy Pollock, he's the one." Okay, so we didn't have to figure too much out on our own. Rob shone as part of what we call the FAST team. It's one of those strategy projects. If we'd have known him at the time, it would have been invented by Alan Kohlberg. But we had different consultants back then. And Rob shone quickly, and actually it was about the same time I also met A.T., who was our IT liaison, and she managed to enmesh herself completely in certainly our lives, and we got, and actually I liked her better than Rob at that point. But I was told to keep it short tonight because I'm trying not to, and so I wanted to talk about the real reason that we're here, which is to talk about some of the ways in which this guy is actually so irritating. And I made a short list of some of my most irritating things about Rob. One is that he knows everything. You'd be reading the paper and you said, "My goodness, did you realize that GDP has reached its highest level since in the last 20 years?" He said, "Oh yeah, it peaked in 1972, right before the oil crisis. I think it was June." I'm like, how do you know these things, and why do you know these things? And if you go to the sports, he likes to ask you these questions like, okay, let's try this one. Who knows which person on the Yankees team, and I don't have a clue. I don't even know any names to throw out as candidates for who might be the answer. So that's like a really irritating thing. Another irritating thing is that this guy is so chipper at like 7 o'clock in the morning. I mean, I am dying for my second cup of coffee, and he's like, I've been thinking about this, and I think we should do this and that, and I'm like, oh, you're giving me a headache, It's like, how can you be so happy? It's like the sun's barely up. And, so that's, I find that very irritating. Another thing that's really irritating is this guy can fall asleep on an airplane in about 2 minutes. I mean, we're rolling down the airplane, the runway, our first flight, we're together going out of Minneapolis. And, I'm looking out in the window seat, Rob's in the aisle, and I'm looking at the window saying, "Hey, Rob, look, you can see the Metrodome." Rob's, I mean, we're in the air for 1 minute. And he's, okay, this was repeated many, many times. And I've always resented, we go to Europe together and, I'd sleep an hour and we'd get there and go, oh. Rob's like, okay. And the last thing I wanted to mention is this, normally easygoing, reserved, polite person that we all know, in certain circumstances suffers from a rather severe disorder. And I have to say that there's a few other people in the room that also suffer this disorder. Our colleague Leslie, the proper English woman, is one. These people are rabid Packers fans. I mean, they go crazy. I mean, Rob, see, they all have the same disease. I mean, he's all of a sudden like, you guys, you suck, you can't do anything, we're gonna beat your butt into the floor, I'm like, Rob, what happened here? So anyway, this guy, the truth has to come out, and he does have some character defects like that, being a Packers fan and things like that. But anyway, Rob, I'm delighted to be asked to be here tonight and have the opportunity to speak. And you've been a wonderful friend and colleague for a long time. I mean, going back to 1984. And I know you're going to have a great time in retirement because it is great. And I'm so happy for you and for AT, and look forward to seeing you a lot. Thanks.
I'm glad you did that before I spoke. Might not happen after I spoke. A couple of things. It's really nice you've come out to Lynn-Loretta becoming a grandmother party. Great show of affection. Correct a couple things. What Carrie said was mostly true. But I can tell you, he was never up early in the morning. So a cup of coffee at 7 o'clock? Carrie, that was bold. Alan, something I haven't told you about the job yet. I was just back in the corner of the room. Had my final performance appraisal from Paulette. She's going to be in your office on Monday. I want to share this with you because this was a highlight for me. After 15 years, I came off probation. It's quite nice to hear. She did inform me there would be no salary increase, but I was off probation. I thought that was pretty good. She said it'd probably be a little tougher on Alan than she was on me. He was going to be expected to get off probation sooner than 15 years. So, there you go. It's incredible to see all the people here from the different businesses, old friends, new friends, and it's a remarkable legacy, I think, to the company and to what's so special about this place, because it is a special place. I've been fortunate. The company, I don't know where it was. I remember getting analyzed and you're not doing this and you can't do that. But somewhere along the line it was, I don't know if it was Leslie or so, and they said, let's work on what people are good at and emphasize that, and not really so much on that other stuff. I was like, shoot. But I think it's really, really important, and I think was helpful for me, but I think helpful for the company. I think we can't be all good at everything. I think recognizing what you're not good at and trying to emphasize what you are is what the company's really good at. And, I think starting with Alan, had no problem moving people into different positions, and if it didn't work out, he'd find something else for them to do, because he sometimes just said maybe it wasn't a match in the position. I think that was quite important. you know, with Carrie, I worked with Carrie for a long time, and you know, he was my mentor and friend, and always encouraging, and you know, I owe him a tremendous amount. I want to go next and talk about, you know, I worked in 3 locations, and maybe 4. I guess it was 4. But 3 people were in the room tonight, unsung heroes of the company, and there's more of these people. They're not all there. But Janet Greider, Tracy Cohen, Lynn Moretta. Everybody knows in those locations, they run things. I mean, they just make a flywheel to make it happen. And they're incredibly efficient and really leverage me. And, you know, I'm grateful to all of you. That was just fantastic. And we've got lots of people like that. You know, when I look around, I think there's such a family feel to everything going on here, right? I mean, this is a big extended family. We spend a lot of time together. And, you know, look at people who came back, you know, Alan, Carrie, Larry, Ben Cutler, Mike, Sylvia. You know, again, these are people who were with the company and came back. Then we have people who came from faraway locations. And to see the interaction among the people is phenomenal to me. I mean, it's just great. And it is our secret sauce as a company. You know, one of the things, I don't know where I got this. You know, this is what happens when you get old. Bill's here too, guys. You can smell Tony. There's so many, but somewhere, I don't know where I was given this, but it says, "What do you think?" Okay? And that's what's so great about this company. You are asked your opinion on stuff, and you can provide input. That's not to say we haven't confused that at times with consensus decision making. We have, okay? But this creates huge engagement. You ask people what they think, and you get more back. We need to keep that special sauce going. And if we do that, this company is unstoppable. I'm so thrilled with Alan taking over, Chris, the whole MCOM. They're going to do Leslie. It's so great to see you. Because this, you know, look, everywhere I look, there's like friends, right? Friends, business associates, but people who've made a big difference in your life. So, you know, let's keep that going. I want to thank each of you from the bottom of my heart for coming tonight, and let's have a little more fun, all right? Great. Thanks.
Each night, each morning, anywhere you go, let me go too. Hey dear, that's all I ask of you.
Say you share with me one love, one lifetime. Say the word and I will follow you. Share me, stay with me each night, each morning. Say you don't love me.
Oh, I do. Lately,
was not all I asked of you. The truth is, I married you for love, not for lunch. So, when we met at the office in the early 80s, I never imagined that more than 30 years later, I would be standing here in this iconic room to send you off to retirement. As you heard earlier, Rob, the man we all know, is not about himself. He's very humble, full of humility. It's never about him, but about other people. Guess what? Tonight is all about him, whether he likes it or not.
This is all AT, just to clarify. I have nothing to do with it. And I need a notepad because it's a lot. This is Rob, and I'm 18. Say no romantic getaway in Green Bay. Stay awake at the opera. Turn off the TV, pack your bags, travel with me. Make me breakfast while I'm sleeping. Love me.
Yep.
But there's more. You can keep your nail bonding with the boys while I go out shopping with Leslie and Lynn and Sean. And I'm not wearing a cheese hat, like ever, etc., etc. Love me.
I will.
But there's more I'll ask of you. So take this home and read it tonight. It's a lot of material.
Okay, now I have the last words. I'll give you the insight of the Rob that I know. There are many wonderful skills Rob acquired during his stint as FO, EO, OO, whatever O. But what perhaps you all don't know is that he always has excellent performance review with his organizational skills, all in 3 areas. Assembling sports statistics, whether it's baseball, basketball, etc. The second one is wine and trivia, and third one is trivia. Anything else, he needs assistants like Lynn, Janet, Tracy. He is a likable child, like his mother said, always friendly, everybody loves him. And I will tell you a secret tonight. Earlier, Lynn said, young lady, well, if you see, people in the elevator or anywhere, say bud, pal, guess what? He doesn't remember your name. Now I'll tell you some stories about the Rob then and now. Then, he used to live in a condo in St. Paul that I hate. Now he has a few nice digs. He used to drink beers and Diet Coke, and now only fine wine and New York finest tap water. He used to eat burnt roast beef, canned peas, and beans on Sundays. Now he goes to dim sum go-go in Chinatown. He used to have terrible sense of direction. Just ask Tony Rotundi or Silver Wagner. But now he has GPS. But some things never change. You know, when I first met him in the company, he would bring in, for Christmas, Chex Mix. And he still continued to today. And he still loves watching sports. Anything start with a ball. He still goes to the annual mail bonding trips to Vegas. He still collects useless information for trivia. Okay. As much as I'm very nervous about your invading my space, I'm proud of you for having such an amazing career. You raced through the highs and lows, and now you are leaving behind a very strong team under Alan Cobert's leadership. To close, I'd like to leave you all with a quote that many people told me that it reminded them of you, from Mayor Angelou. I have learned that people forget what you said, people forget what you did, but they did never forget how you made them feel. And that's what reminded them of you, and very proud of you. Thank you all for coming.
Stars spreading